Hello class. Are we all doing well? Yes? Good. Did we have a nice time at break? All feeling rested? Brilliant. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to be having a little bit of a test. Now this test is going to be on geography. Now you've all studied a little bit of geography last year. Yes, with Miss Turner. And she taught you a little bit about the world map. Do we all remember? Yes? Okay. So, we're going to have a test so that I know whereabouts you're up to before we start our own geography lessons for this year. Okay? There's nothing to worry about. I don't want you to go home to Mummy and Daddy and panic. Yeah? All I want to see is whereabouts you are. Okay? Alright. So, the things that we'll be learning today are the 7 continents, okay, so there are 7 continents. It's okay, put your hand down and I'm going to go through it a little bit later. You don't have to tell me now, okay? Okay, next we are going to have some examples of the countries in these different continents. Okay, and I'll be very impressed if you could tell me what country our continent belongs to. Anybody? No? That's okay, not to worry. We're going to learn all of this again this year and some extra information. Not to worry, we're going to learn this all over again today so that we can move on with our lessons next week. Okay, fabulous. So the next thing are the different oceans. So the seaside. And which oceans lie in correlation with the different countries? Okay. Alright. Next, we want you to be able to locate the equator. The equator. Can we all say that together? Equator. Very good. Okay, so we'll learn a little bit about the equator in a minute. Alright, and finally we're going to quickly try and work out a little bit about the time zones. Now you may have not done time zones before. it's something that we will go over next week when we start our proper geography lessons. Okay, good. And if I were to tell you that when you go on holiday, sometimes when you get off the plane, it can be earlier than the time that you got on the plane. Does that ring a bell to anybody? Yes? So we've all travelled somewhere and then it's been earlier in the morning than when we got on the plane originally. Okay, so those are because of the different time zones, and it's all to do with our position on the planet Earth. Okay, so we'll go into that a little bit more in a second. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the different continents. Okay, so we have 7 different continents. The first is North America. So this is the United States and Canada. Next we have South America, which is countries such as Mexico, Brazil, all of this area here. Okay, next we have Europe, which is all of this area here. Okay, next we have Asia, which is here, and we have Africa and Australia, and finally we have the North and South poles. Okay, so now I want you to have a bit of a discussion with each other, just very briefly, and could you please tell me the name of a country in each continent? Okay, have a little discussion with yourselves. Okay, alright, so could you put your hands up and I'll point out the country that you've said and tell you if it's in the right continent, okay? Alright, let me see. Matthew. Yes, correct. So we have South America, and Peru is in South America. Well done. It is just here to the left of Brazil. Okay, anyone else? Yes, Amber. Yes, very good. New Zealand is in the continent within Oceania, Australia. Okay, any more? No? Okay, don't worry, it's fine. Why don't we go through a few together? Yeah? Okay. So we have Asia. So an example of a country in Asia is China, or we have India, Thailand, Indonesia, the Papua New Guinea, and the Philippines. Okay, next we have Africa. So we have countries such as Libya, Egypt, Sudan, Chad, Algeria, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Congo, Zambia, Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and of course South Africa. Do any of these countries sound familiar? Good, that's good to hear. Okay, next we have Europe. So we have the United Kingdom, Spain, Portugal, Ireland, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Ukraine, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Belarus, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Greece, Bulgaria, and Albania, for example. Okay, and the final one that we had left out is North America. So we have the United States of America, and we have Canada as well. Okay, is everybody following along? Yeah? Alright, brilliant, so I can tick that off of my list. Okay, so next we're going to be talking a little bit about the oceans. Alright, can anybody tell me how many different oceans we have? Yes, that's right. So we have 3 different oceans, but they can be split into 5 different categories. Okay? So we have the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Indian Ocean. Okay? But the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean are split north and south. Okay, so where are these oceans represented on the globe? So we have our map here. Now we'll start with the North Pacific Ocean, which is right here. Okay, so the North Pacific and South Pacific Ocean lies on the west of Canada, US, and South America, and it sits to the east of Asia and Australia. Next we have the Atlantic Ocean, which is here. Okay, so we have it located in between the US and South America, and Europe and Africa. Okay, and finally is the Indian Ocean. This is located at the foot of India. We have Africa to the left of the Indian Ocean and Australia to the right of the Indian Ocean. Okay. Brilliant. Alright. Next is the Equator. So can anybody tell me whereabouts on this map the equator lies? Very good. So the equator is followed by this line located in the very centre of the map, okay? And the equator represents the hottest place on the earth. So all of the countries that lay on the equator's line experience the hottest temperatures that we are exposed to. Okay? Brilliant. So the type of countries that we can find within the equator are the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, Somalia, Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, Congo, Brazil, Colombia and Venezuela. All right? Okay. So the last thing that we need to cover is just a brief description of what the time zones are. Okay? So if we imagine our map is a clock. And this right here is 12 o'clock. So the countries within this sector tend to have the same hourly clock time zone. Okay, brilliant. So if I wanted to work out the time difference within two different countries, what I would do is I would start where my country lies and then count the squares left or right to find out the time difference. Okay, so if it is to the left of 12 o'clock, it means you need to take away the squares, and if it is to the right, you need to add. Okay, so for example, we have the UK at 12 o'clock noon. So if I wanted to find out the time difference between the UK and Orlando, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here is Florida here. Okay, so because it's left, it would mean it is a -5. So if it was 12 o'clock in the UK, then it would be 7 a.m. in Florida. Does everybody understand? Okay, we'll go through that a little bit more next week, but for now that's everything that you need to know. Of course, you do need to know the states of the USA. So I'm going to go around and this will be on your test. So please take these maps home with you.